The Harness Horse Youth Foundation recently celebrated their 40th anniversary. Let's find out more about the HHYF and how they honored this incredible milestone. The Harness Horse Youth Foundation is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing young people and their families educational opportunities in the standardbred sport. Since 1976, the HHYF has made a huge impact getting the next generation interested in harness racing. Its programs include scholarships, distributing educational material to schools, and interactive learning experiences in which students learn how to care for an equine athlete, become familiar with equipment for standardbred, get an education about racing history, discover careers in the industry, and much more. To honor this amazing association that's been around for 4 decades, we headed to Goshen, New York, to the Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame.
Today is a huge day, isn't it? Did you think that 40 years was going to happen?
I guess the eternal optimists always thought so, but did I think that it would be where it is? No. I mean, very, very blessed to have supporters and sponsors and excited kids, and the whole thing blends together to make it a really, really exciting event.
Do you have a favorite part of HHYF?
I have to say it's meeting new kids and watching them grow up. That's my favorite part. It didn't used to be, but the older I get, the more I see that we can make such a huge difference. Not necessarily on a day-to-day basis or a year-to-year basis, but if in this room this morning, you will see kids from 20, 30, 40 years ago that still believe in what HHYF does. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. All right, well, I'm going to head in. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for everything.
In the William R. Houghton Hall, a room full of HHYF supporters, scholarship winners, and camp graduates gathered to celebrate. We heard from several speakers, like a Service to Youth Award recipient, the prominent and extremely generous lawyer, Chris Whitstruck. Chris told his story about how he wasn't born into the business and how there are kids today like him who don't have racing in their blood, but absolutely love the sport now thanks to the HHYF. World-renowned veterinarian Patty Hogan also graced the microphone. Dr. Hogan spoke about how, while in school, she won scholarships through the association, and how the HHYF has helped so many others through the years with funding, and how those students continue to be active in the sport of harness racing. Callie Davies Gooch, another Service to Youth Award recipient, served as a trustee for nearly 25 years and the HHYF president for 14. She was the driving force behind many groundbreaking projects, provided valuable input and energy, and it was wonderful to have her with us on this big day. Also, my 14-year-old son Wyatt was asked to come up in front of the crowd, and he had the opportunity to talk about how excited he is about taking part in a harness racing youth league camp this coming July. And Montrell Teague, the driver of the 2015 Horse of the Year Wiggle It Jiggle It, reflected on his experiences and the importance of HHYF. Montrell is a graduate of the 2002 Harrington Raceway Camp. Who would have thought that 13 years later, he would be winning the Little Brown Jug?
I thought one of the things that you said that was very cool was, even though you knew a lot about harness racing when you did the camp, it still was a learning experience, wasn't it?
Exactly. They could tell that I knew a lot about it, and they knew that Dad had a bunch of horses and where I come from, but I was quiet about it. I didn't be the egotistical guy in there that was like, already done this, been there, done that. So I was like the group leader and helped everybody out.
So somebody comes up to you and they were like, tell me about HHYF. I mean, why should I be donating to them? I mean, what's so great about HHYF?
It's where we all come from. It's bringing it back to learning experiences when you first start, like doing stalls, doing bandages, cleaning out water buckets. In short, it guarantees the future for the younger generation, and that's the whole part of it. We have to have a new generation come along and take over, so that's what they're there for.
How are you enjoying the museum? Have you been here before?
Yeah, I've been here about 10 years ago. I can't really remember that, but I remember doing the simulator and some of the stuff's coming back to me. And I made my rounds, so I seen my colors in the jug exhibit, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that awesome down there? And then they have a whole Wiggle Jiggle Horse of the Year exhibit too. So very awesome. Yeah, you're quite the superstar in this place. Yeah. How'd you do in the simulator? Did you win your race in the simulator?
I think I did.
Yeah, because I was in the same one as you and I won my race too. So that's amazing.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody wins in the simulator. Thank you, Montrell.
No problem, thank you.
Probably the biggest star of the day was Sweet Karen. This Palomino trotting bred mare has been with the HHYF for 15 years. She travels the United States each summer, teaching young people about harness racing. And as you can see, she is a fan favorite with all ages. Before we headed out for our journey back to Delaware, we touched base with the MC of the day, Communicators Harness Racing Hall of Famer, Bob Hollywood Hayden, to get his thoughts on this association that's been around for 40 years.
Tell me how invaluable HHYF is.
Totally invaluable, and very much understated. And 3 or 4 years ago, when I first got to really know about HHYF, I was like most people. I thought they were funded by certain people, certain organizations. I thought it was kind of a very nice idea, but I didn't know it was a charity that relies upon everybody basically chipping in. And I didn't know that, and I'm glad I did. The one thing about HHYF that kind of irks me a little bit now is a lot of times there are a lot of charities or some semi-charities that have kind of pushed them to the back of the room a little bit, and I'm trying to push back a little bit with that myself, for Ellen, because it's such a worthwhile organization. It's everything. It's our future, it's our little league, it's our formative years, it's youth. We are so sorely lacking in youth in our business. We don't promote kids 20, 22, 24 years old to continue on in our business in terms of publicity, journalism, following the sport, so they turn elsewhere. Here, we're telling kids all aspects of the sport, hands-on, non-hands-on, friendships, we're getting them involved, and then they can choose what aspect maybe they want to follow. But almost all the kids are going to follow it in some level. Even if it's not a career, they're going to keep friends, they're going to go, they're going to bring people, things like that. So it's a win-win across the board. I was just talking to Archie Ambrone. He told me as a 9-year-old kid, 1959, he used to hang out at Goshen on the fence, come in and do pedigrees. I said, that's the root, that's the acorn, that's the seed of what we have today. Everybody wants to get involved early. It's the kid hanging on the fence watching a Yankee game who can't afford to get in. It's someone keeping score of a Little League game, things like that. It's getting involved early. You want to do it. Sometimes you don't have the avenue to do it. HHYF gives you that avenue.
It was a wonderful celebration for a group that is like no other. And as soon as the HHYF was done celebrating in Goshen, New York, they started their summer camp tour, which included a stop at the casino at Ocean Downs. Not only did local kids take part in a day camp learning about the sport, but between races on a live card, the Harness Horse Youth Foundation put on a demonstration, while Executive Director Ellen Taylor took center stage and talked about the group and its special equines and its busy summer schedule. Also, there were young representatives handing out material and talking with people interested in learning more about this super association. Plus, during the visit that evening, the Friends of Maryland Standardbreds presented a check to HHYF for over $600, thanks to a recent paint night fundraiser and raffles conducted by generous local horsemen and women. Many thanks to the HHYF for making the casino at Ocean Downs one of their stops on their summer camp tour around the country. If you would like more information, please log on to their website at hhyf.org.